Hey guys, welcome back. Today we've got some extremely exciting news for Halo Infinite's campaign. So, Grim just released Cannon Fodder issue 113, in which we got a look at two new Banished Brute brothers, both members of the Hand of Atriox alongside Jaeger and Escharum. So, that means that we now know 4 members of the Hand of Atriox, so there's either one more member left to reveal, or maybe because the Hand of Atriox is obviously designed around Atriox, a brute, maybe that means that there are only 4 members of the Hand, because brutes only have 4 fingers, so maybe Jaeger, Escharum, and these 2 brutes are the only members. I don't know, just a bit of theorizing, let me know what you guys think in the comments, but alongside Jaeger, these are 2 characters that you encounter in your adventures on Zeta Halo. Now apparently, some of them make their intentions obvious, while others give hints at their own deeper history. Which, of course, sounds very, very exciting. Each of them is also designed to help introduce you to both the nature and also the evolving presence of the Banished in the Halo universe. So, without any further ado, let's take a look at these Brute brothers. The first of which is one that we've been hearing about for quite a while now. Hyperius. Now, I gotta say, I absolutely love this design. Now, Hyperius looks so badass in this concept art. Specifically, the kind of black and red colour scheme, it really drives home that Banished feel, and at the same time, I can't think of any other word, it just looks badass. It's that kind of really cool black and red combo that everyone used to have on the Spartans when they were like 15. Brutes are now adopting that exact colour scheme, which I love. Hyperius in particular has a really kind of tribal aesthetic. I mean, you've got the face mask with what looks to be like a bone chin and also the bone kind of fragment on his right thigh. I imagine that is going to look really, really intimidating in game. And also as well, the spikes all over his armor, on his fists and on his shoulder blade look incredible. I can tell with Hyperius they're going for a really, really intimidating look, and I mean, by the looks of it, they've nailed it. And also, in keeping with this really intimidating look, it kind of looks to me like on his shins and his knees, and also on his stomach, he's wearing like the remnants of Spartan Mjolnir. It kind of looks like that, and furthermore, if you see the necklace he's got on round his chin, they look to be Spartan fingers. This man is literally taking war trophies, which is so cool. There's no better way to intimidate the player than by having a brute wear the fingers of Spartans. This man has literally pulled the fingers off of Spartans and worn them around his neck. I mean, that's really about as intimidating as it comes. His hammer looks really cool as well. I'm really liking the kind of hammer variety that we've seen in this game so far. Not every hammer seems to look the same. There seems to be quite a lot of unique variety. Like this one, for example, again, alongside the really cool colour scheme, gives me kind of Fist of Rukt vibes. It has a similar silhouette to the Fist of Rukt, but easily the standout feature of Hyperius is what's sitting on the red blades on his left shoulder. Spartan Locke's Hunter Helmet. Now, this is clearly some kind of a war trophy like the fingers on his necklace, and it's also not something that's entirely new. We have seen it in Mega Construct sets before, so it's not entirely new, but I've got to be honest, seeing it in official concept art is pretty insane. Now, I seriously doubt that Locke is going to get killed off-screen before Halo Infinite. I'm seeing a lot of people saying that, oh, this means that Locke's dead, and I really strongly doubt that. But at the same time, this creates quite a few questions. So, does this mean that Locke is going to be in Halo Infinite? And honestly, I would say yes, given that one of the bosses of Infinite has his helmet on his shoulder. I would assume that in-game we're going to see how that helmet gets on his shoulder, which is going to be really cool to see. Honestly, I'm just thinking about this guy's boss fight and how cool it would be as like an intro to the boss fight if you see him like just annihilate Locke, to kind of create this really imposing atmosphere for the boss fight that really builds up his character and makes him seem like a proper threat. That'd be a really cool way to do it. Either way though, it's clear that Hyperius, who is looking to be a sort of semi-main character in Halo Infinite, has a run-in with Locke at some point, and I guarantee that we're going to find out more about that in-game. That is not going to be something that they just don't talk about. I guarantee you that helmet is on his shoulder for a reason, and we're going to find out why. Right, so moving on to Hyperius' brother, we have Tovarus, or Tovarus, one of the two. Now, I've got to say, his armor is really cool. It's super sleek. I'm kind of getting, like, elite vibes from the armor. The shoulder pieces in particular look quite similar to Halo 2 Anniversary's combat harness, which I think is really, really cool. Maybe it's like a brute that's a fan of elite culture and likes to style his armor off elite armor. I've also got to say that this kind of sleek appearance of his armor makes me think this character might be a bit more kind of assassin-like in his nature compared to Hyperius, who looks really aggressive and tribal. I can imagine this elite being more stealthy in his approach or something. It's just the kind of the silhouette of his armor really gives me that vibe. The real sleekiness combined with all the real sharp edges and spikes give me this kind of assassin-like vibe. But I gotta say, again, the color scheme of this armor, the dark gray and black and red, is just such a cool color scheme, man. Seeing the brutes sporting this color scheme is so cool. And also, these two brutes, Hyperius and Tovarus, again, really remind me of Uruk-hai from Lord of the Rings. I'm loving seeing that original inspiration for the Banished for Halo Wars 2 from the Uruk-hai make a return in Halo Infinite, because that, I'm not gonna lie, that aesthetic was one of the main reasons that I fell in love with the Banished, and seeing it come back is, oh, beautiful. Now, given that Grimm pretty much just calls these guys bosses in the Cannon Fodder article, I'm really starting to think that the Hand of Atriox are going to be something like the Patriots in Metal Gear Solid 2 or the House Leaders in Resident Evil Village, like, as in, they're going to be part of some sort of organization that we're going to have to take down one by one until we get to the proverbial big cheese, which is either going to be Escharum or Atriox. Either way though, it's real clear that all of these guys, including Jaeger Adomni and Escharum, are being set up as major boss characters in Halo Infinite, and they all just look incredible. Their designs are so unique and really unlike anything that we've seen in Halo so far, from the elites or the brutes or really anything. They're very refreshing, and yet at the same time, they still look incredibly Halo. Okay, so moving on, we have two new things. We have the Scrap Cannon, which is a new weapon/turret type weapon that apparently fires hot metal, which is presumably going to be spiked like all the brute weapons, and early on was called the Gatling Mortar, which sounds pretty badass. The concept art for it also looks pretty badass, and honestly, I'm really excited to see a new turret-style weapon in Halo. The kind of turret sub-faction of weapons doesn't get much love nowadays, so it's cool seeing 343 adding to it and expanding on it. I can already see a brute chieftain carrying this into battle and just hurling spikes downrange at you. And then also we have a new vehicle, the Razorback, which is a spin-off of the Warthog and looks to be basically an armoured troop hog, in Grimm's words, for taking Marines on adventures and stuff as well. According to Grimm, it is the Warthog's more spacious and robust cousin and is perfect for crashing Banished house parties and also for taking on scenic drives, of which I am very excited to do. And finally, one last thing, we got another shot of this new Mega Construct set with Escharum, the Banished Chopper, and Fred in his Gen 3 Mjolnir. There's not much to break down here, I've already mentioned this in a video, but I gotta say, just seeing the Banished Chopper looks fantastic, and also seeing Fred in his Gen 3 Mjolnir looks incredible, and I'm seriously hoping this means that he's going to be in the game with the rest of Blue Team. And so, with that said, that's all for today. Let me know what you guys think of these new designs of Hyperius, of Tovarus, of the Scrap Cannon, and also the Razorback down below in the comments. I gotta say, as if it wasn't clear enough already, I love all of these designs. I think they all look fantastic. So, thank you for watching, I really do appreciate it, and I'll catch you all in the next one.